Hello and welcome to Little Big Autism, the online autism community. In today's video, we are going to be exploring what is autism according to the science. If you are new to the channel, welcome. My name is Ryan and I have a personal, professional and academic interest in all things autism, and I am here to give a little piece of advice, support and guidance for you guys. Subscribe to this channel to look out for more content coming very soon. Get involved by commenting down below and letting me know exactly what content you want to see. With that out of the way, let's begin our video. So this video is exploring diagnostic terms and medical information. Bit of a trigger warning and a disclaimer, this is not always the most friendly way to explain and explore autism, and it may be upsetting for some. There is a growing movement within the autistic population of appropriate language and how to refer to autistic people and to autism. If you would like me to explore that debate, let me know down below and we will happily explore that movement. Still here? Fantastic. So how do we know what autism is and where does the science tell us? There are two main resources used to explain what autism is. There is the DSM-5 and the ICD-11. These two different manuals have a lot in common and they actually reflect and influence each other. We've had a huge overhaul about what is autism and how to diagnose it. That came from the DSM-5 in 2013, which is used within the United States of America, and the ICD-11, which was published in 2019 by the World Health Organization and mainly within Europe. The new criteria to diagnose autism has resulted in one singular diagnosis called Autistic Spectrum Disorder, or ASD. So from January 2022, there will be no more diagnosis of Asperger's, PDD-NOS, and childhood autism. If you'd like me to explore what it means, why they've changed, where they've gone, please comment down below and we will explore that in their own individual videos. To be diagnosed with autistic spectrum disorder, there is certain criteria that you must meet. There are certain things that you must have, display, or find difficulty with. There is now two categories: social communication and restrictive and repetitive activities and interests. But what do they actually mean? Social communication is how you socially develop, how you interact with others, how you socialize, how you can communicate with the world around you, and how you interact with your social skills and your communication skills. So you will have differences and difficulties within social communication. You will then also display difficulties and differences in restrictive, repetitive activities and interests, which basically means things that you do and things that you like. That also includes your sensory needs. They are within the activities and interests component of the autistic diagnosis. So if you do have particular sensory needs, sensory interests, then they will come under those restrictive and repetitive behaviors. So quite simply, to be diagnosed with ASD, according to the medical guidelines, you have to display these differences and difficulties within how you socialize and communicate, and restrictive, repetitive activities and interests, including your sensory needs, interests, and sensitivities. So you have to display these characteristics to varying degrees, but you have to have a certain number of these difficulties and differences in the two categories to get your diagnosis of autistic spectrum disorder. They look at your history and how you've developed from childhood, so that doesn't affect if you're diagnosed later in life or as a child. It's still one diagnosis of ASD. Now, ASD is a lifelong condition. It affects a person compared to typically developing people, but one major point which is said in the guidelines is there is huge variation, so many differences between autistic people on the spectrum, and it is classified as a spectrum disorder because of those differences. Where you lay on the spectrum and how you present, you still have one singular diagnosis, and that's to remove those comparisons between the different autistic terms. Being autistic means that you present in a unique way to you. It is very true, if you have met one autistic person, you have met that one autistic person. There is huge difference and variation between people, and it is very unique to how they present at that particular time. You cannot grow out of autism, but you can change, you can develop, you can adapt. Like everyone out there, we all develop and change at our own rate and speeds, and we all have our own capabilities. That is exactly the same with autistic spectrum disorder. It's just that you might have a slight difference within those unique areas of social communication and behaviors and interests and activities, but how that presents is completely unique and special to each individual person. And the guidelines do reflect that by saying that there is huge variation in this spectrum disorder. Now, that is an overall summary of the guidelines, very, very broken down, just to give you a flavour of what autism is according to the science and what that means for you. These are quite information heavy materials. They are diagnostic guidelines used for medical and health professionals. If you would like a more in-depth and detailed analysis of the different diagnostic terms, the different guidelines and where they come from, the subcategories that have now changed and evolved into this singular diagnosis of ASD, then please, like I've said, comment down below and let me know what you want to hear. I will happily dive in and explore that for you. I am a self-confessed psychology geek. I studied psychology at university, and this is something I'm actually really interested in. So please let me know down below if that's something that you would like to see in a future video. If you found this video useful, interesting, hit the subscribe button and the like button, join in the discussion down below, let your voice be heard, and let me know what you want to see next time. Thank you very much for listening, and bye.